turn to the ranking member, a member of the full Resource Committee, the gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Tancredo. Your comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I sincerely appreciate your holding this hearing before our subcommittee today, because border security, or the lack thereof, is an issue that has far-reaching environmental impacts, and I am pleased that we are finally taking time to address it. The impact of mass illegal immigration on national security, on economic security, on cultural cohesiveness, and the rule of law have tended to characterize the debate up to this point. On the other hand, environmental degradation, the safety of our national parks and natural resources, and the preservation of the wilderness areas rarely have been considered, despite the fact that roughly 43% of the border with Mexico is federal land. In the 1990s, we used fencing to secure the high-volume corridor in San Diego and El Paso, but we left the vast tracts of border vulnerable. The resulting shift of illegal alien activity to areas without fencing is now threatening to destroy fragile wildlife refuges and the treasured national monuments. Make no mistake, this damage continues today and will only worsen if we do not act to protect these areas with fencing and infrastructure. Illegal aliens and smugglers have created hundreds of new trails and roads while crossing borderlands, and in doing so destroyed saguaro cactus and other sensitive vegetation that can take decades to recover, including habitat for endangered species. These roads and trails disturb wildlife, cause soil erosion and compaction, along with the hundreds of vehicles abandoned by smugglers which are found on federal lands each year and are not only expensive to remove, but towing them from remote areas can result in additional damage. Tons of trash and human waste are left behind each year, affecting wildlife, vegetation, and water quality. I'm sure most of us on this panel, many in this room, have seen the layup sites where after a period of time, literally sometimes thousands of people have gathered and left tons of trash, only to despoil the land and provide a danger to the wildlife in the area and to the cattle that are being raised in the area. The risk of fires has increased from migrant traffic as well. Illegal aliens start warming fires or cooking fires and then leave them unattended. And extinguishing those fires has added a degree of danger that, as if that task needs to be even more hazardous. Just last week, a fire started in the Coronado National Forest because of the established dangerous and well-known routes for illegal immigration and drug running through this area. A law enforcement presence was required to protect the firefighters. This is a common practice up there and an all too common activity. The ecological impacts of uncontrolled illegal immigration on the national forests and parks along our southwest border are no secret. The GAO recently documented some of the challenges faced by the federal agencies tasked with managing our lands. As a member of the Resources Committee, I helped commission the June 2000 report entitled "Border Security Agencies Need to Be Better Coordinated in their strategies and operations on federal lands." The GAO found that illegal border activities, especially alien border crossings and drug smuggling on federal lands and tribal lands in the Southwest, have risen sharply since the mid-1990s, creating previously unforeseen problems for land management agencies, posing new dangers for law enforcement officers, visitors, employees, and the environment. I note with dismay that despite the broad public interest and 75% support for additional border fencing, the 2009 budget for the Border Patrol contains no new funding for border fences and carries beyond the Secure Border Initiative's dubious commitment to technological solutions. Only 168 miles of the 370 miles of planned pedestrian fencing has been completed through March of 2008, along with 135 miles of the planned 300 miles of vehicle barriers. At the end of 2008, we will have 370 miles of border fencing on a 1,950-mile southwest border. I hope we can continue to work together to expand our border security through fencing and infrastructure that has proven its effectiveness. Our federal lands deserve this protection. Ultimately, both wilderness and property owners are only as secure as our weakest link. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And before